Experience the ultimate in on-the-water prowess with the Tracker Grizzly 2072cc Sportsman Kicker. Featuring a 150 horsepower Mercury 4-stroke motor controlled by center console, and a 9.9 horsepower Mercury kicker motor controlled by a bow-mounted throttle and steering system. This 100% aluminum construction comes equipped with an onboard generator to power the 10 forward-mounted LED lighting system, providing 30,000 lumens for all-night targeting, and a Minn Kota Riptide Fortrex SF 36-volt trolling motor. This boat can be yours for just under $53,000. This innovative setup allows complete control of your boat and your surroundings. The only thing it doesn't come with is a duck blind.
If you saw our snakehead episode last year on the History Channel, you got to see our Grizzly Sportsman Kicker in action while we were bow fishing for snakehead. And it's a very cool episode. I highly recommend you check it out. But this year, I want to take this boat duck hunting. It's the perfect boat for duck hunting. It's got plenty of wide space for you to sit. You can bring chairs, you can bring your buddies. The only problem is they don't have a blind or camo system available for the boat yet. So I, being impatient, I'm gonna make my own so that I can get this boat out and use it for duck hunting. To make this simple as possible, I'm gonna take a couple old pallets apart that I got from a local company, and then this is also something I'm only gonna use for a couple months out of the year. There's already a lot of great structure on the boat that you can connect to make your blind nice and sturdy. We have this great railing here that is all welded in, bolted in. I'm gonna try to avoid actually drilling into the boat, again, because this is only a temporary fix. So I'm gonna connect here, and then I'm gonna connect it up here. I wanna get this out of the way right now. I am making this out of scrap wood, so a lot of my measurements are gonna be in the moment. I don't have any specific measurements that I can give you. It'll depend on what kind of wood you're using, but I will measure the parts of the boat that we're connecting to, and I can give you those measurements. But make sure that you're measuring your own wood before you cut it, and hopefully you can end up with something similar to what I'm doing. I wanna make sure I know the measurement inside the railing, which it looks like it's just about 7.5. And then this right here is about 11.5. But I do wanna watch out for this nut right here. So if I'm gonna use a 2x4 in this area, I'm gonna need to cut out about a 1/2-inch notch to make room for that nut. My first piece here is a 2x4 with that little notch cut out for that nut. And then I've attached a face piece here. So this is gonna be about 3.5 inches plus 3.5 inches plus the width of this. That's the length you're looking for on this piece here. And then this will fit in there nice. And then once I attach the other face piece here and then run the 2x4 up and down here, it'll give me a nice secure connection to this railing that I can then build the rest of the blind off of. So here's the second piece. Again, it's gonna fit nice into that space there in the railing. I'm gonna add a face piece here, and then there's gonna be a 2x4 that will run the length of this railing here. So this is the first part of the assembly. On the left side here, this 2x4 is what is going to butt up against the railing. Because I'm using scrap wood from pallets, most of the wood is 48 inches. So you've got from here to over here. Now the next upright piece is a little bit longer than the first one, and that's because the upright that goes here and attaches to these pieces up against the railing is gonna sit on this surface here. However, as I go down the length of the boat, I want the next upright to go inside here, so it sits flat here on this surface and gives us more structure, more support. So as you can see, this first piece slide in, and then I'm gonna screw this in and this in there. It's gonna go nice and tight up against that railing. And you got screws coming from the back, you got screws coming from the front, and that really is gonna grip this up right here and help make this super secure. So this first upright here, that is halfway down the boat, it is again a little longer. I'm using scrap wood, so I don't have a piece that's longer than 48 inches to bring it down to this surface and butt it up against the inside of this little wall, because if it's sitting up here, this wouldn't have anything to prevent it from going any direction. At least here, it can't be pushed outward. So we've got the railing extended on the starboard side. Let's go ahead and do the same on the port side. Let's go ahead and work our way toward the railing in the back here. I'm going to do very similar to this railing as I did to the front railing. I'm going to put a piece of wood in here. I'm going to attach to both the inside and the outside of the railing, and then put a 2x4 out here. And I'm going to do it on both sides of this light. It's starting to get a little dark on me. We're going to pick up where we left off tomorrow morning. So similar to how we built structure around this railing without actually drilling into it. So same idea. We're going to make sure it's nice and tight against that railing. We've got the inserts for both sides, and now we can start building the uprights. So this is what the upright in the back looks like. Luckily, this side will be much easier. Ugh, I hated that. I'll just build it. So now we've got the forward and rear uprights on both sides. So now we just got to connect them in the middle. Now we've got both side rails assembled, so now we just need to attach them in the back. To help stabilize these back corners, I got a couple braces, so they're cut at an angle. And finally, I'm gonna bridge this gap here on the side to make sure that the sides are structurally stable. I'm sure Kyle's gonna lean on them. I'm using scrap wood. I'm not building the Taj Mahal here, so it might not look great, but it's gonna work well. Don't mind AJ, he's just over here doing a photo shoot. How's the photo shoot going?
Pretty swell for this janky setup.
For camo, we're gonna be using field grass we got from Bass Pro Shops. We're gonna need quite a bit of it because we are gonna cover this boat from bow to stern. We're also gonna pay special attention to anything that could be reflective, like the lights. Nothing that the ducks could see from above will be easily visible. So you can see on the inside of these camo panels, it's got woven grass, which gives it a lot of nice structure, helps keep it together. But then on the other side, it just looks like the kind of grass you would expect to see out in a swamp or out in a marsh while you're out duck hunting. So now we start the tedious task of taking each of these camo panels, holding them up to the boat, woven side in so that the grass is facing outward. And we're going to use a whole bunch of zip ties to attach them to the railings. Now I'm going to go around and add zip ties anywhere that I can to the railing, including down at the bottom. Because as you're moving with the boat, especially out on the water with all that wind, this is going to take a beating and it's going to blow around quite a bit. So the more you can provide some structure and attach it to the boat, the less likely it is to flap around, and then you won't end up with some damage here. To give you an idea of what happens when you don't strap it down, this is a piece that we used for a project similar to this last year, and it's a little worse for wear. So it's going to take about 10 to 12 zip ties per section. So now that we've got the entire front covered in camo, the sides are a little different. There's not a whole lot of structure to attach zip ties to. I'm going to take a couple pieces of PVC pipe. I'm going to attach that to the top of each of these camo panels, so that way I can actually take these panels down when I'm not using them. While I was prepping the rest of the poles and the camo panels, it started getting dark, so we'll see you in the morning. Good morning, it is day 3 and it's time to put the finishing touches on our duck boat blind. There are 3 sections of railing on each side and we have to cover each of those. We're going to attach each one of these panels to a PVC pipe that I have spray painted with camo colors, and we're going to affix that to the railing using hooks, so that way we can actually take this camo up and down as we need it. Now I'm going to attach this grass to these pipes using zip ties. So now we've got our panel. I'm going to take that, I'm going to put it up here. I'm going to attach it to these hooks up here at the top. Then I'm going to zip tie it to this bottom piece of wood here so that it's stable here and you can remove it up there. When you're not using it, you can pull the pipe out of the hooks, bring it down, bring it inside, and you can even bring the excess in like that. Now we just gotta do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more times. Yep. And then my last step, I'm gonna take a panel, I'm gonna bring the top 2 corners, and I'm gonna zip tie it together. Little ring here. We're gonna use this to drape over the motors, which is the last thing you'll need to camo. There you go. We're gonna take down what we can so that way we can get this out to our spot. You excited to go duck hunting? Show me that you know how to work these panels.
Okay, I take it off the hook in an upward twisting, yanking motion.
Bring the excess in, perfect.
We had the best duck I've ever had at a restaurant in Tennessee. And it was duck legs. And they were fatty and moist and tasty. And I'm hoping we get some big mallards today to cook up for that.
All right, and then just bring in the motor covers and you're good.
Where's the motor covers? Oh, right.
On the motors. There you go. Bring us back some ducks.
Everything should be fine.
Good ones. Good ones.
I'm bringing you 3 coots and me 2 greenheads.
Oh.
Bye.
So theoretically, it should be fine. Is there potential for it to go horribly wrong? Who knows? Stay tuned.